Well, I've been working on implementing the Perfect Health Diet for several years. Started early 2012. And I've been implementing it in pieces simply because it's a really huge transition for me. And what I wanted to get from the retreat was the immersion that is a part of a week-long experience and sort of refining some of the elements of this lifestyle that that I felt like I would get from being here full-time. I have.
What's your favorite part?
I like hearing the ocean at night.
Helps you sleep?
No, but I just like it. I like being by the ocean. You know, again, it's because it's full immersion. There's just a lot of information. I do like having access to Paul and to Shoqing so that we can ask questions as they come up and get that detail as best I'm able to take in anyway, right there from them as whatever the subject is that they're covering. It's stunning. Yeah, it's the ocean. It's perfect. Yeah, the food's stunning too. Yeah, it's really good. It's delicious. They're very, very talented and very accessible. And if you have questions for them, they're very able to give you the information right then and there. Folks from all over the world and all different ages, all different health statuses. It's definitely a very diverse, different points of view, different parts of sort of implementing this lifestyle, different health challenges, just a huge diversity of humanity, which I personally really enjoy, and it's awesome to kind of get to know folks that I otherwise wouldn't come into contact with and learn about them and just, yeah, share the experience of, oh, I picked up this, because we each sort of understand different parts, I think, and different strengths. Like the science, I'm not particularly strong with. So I'm a little slow in picking that up. And but at dinner or lunch or wherever, there are other people who understand that a little bit better and can kind of help provide some insights. And so yeah, I really like the diversity of the folks that are here. I am. I personally cook in a really similar way, so it's really comfortable to me to sort of cook intuitively to a certain extent with in terms of flavors and combinations and that sort of thing. The concept of actual techniques of cooking is really helpful for me because I'm not as strong with that. So again, if I'm hearing something and not quite sure what I'm hearing, and just ask right then and there for clarification or for a little bit more information as to why. And definitely picking up a lot of useful skills. At least I'm hoping they'll be useful skills. I haven't tried to implement them yet. They're very cool. Some different approaches to things that just aren't typical for what I do. Yeah, I'm hoping to retain that too. Sometimes when there's a whole lot of information coming at you, just get pieces and so synthesizing that and retaining that and being able to implement that, I'm hopeful for. But definitely a lot of really, really, really good information and a lot of techniques that are a little bit different than I've ever heard before. That's very useful. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, and he's got this little sense of humor that I have to kind of tune into. But the science, like I say, I am just absolutely not very scientific. So my comprehension of that is very thin. I'm in the shallow end of my scientific comprehension, and he's so far in the deep end that it's a little bit shocking that we can even have a conversation. But he makes that accessible to me in a way that I can comprehend and ideally implement. Nothing specific, just at the moment. I'm really, it is just a few days so far that we've been here, and there are quite a few, like I say, sort of techniques and things that I'm hopeful to take with me and maybe implement a little bit more in my day in, day out life where I have just my typical schedule that I'm hopeful that it'll be impactful on over the longer term, because it's really been several years that I've been working on implementing it, and it's definitely not a quick hit. It's definitely not a fix it quick circumstance. At least it hasn't been for me. I hope so. I really do. Like I say, it's a huge volume of information, so I'm hopeful that that I retain it. Absolutely, especially anybody that is looking for a holistic approach to health. And again, with a lot of different types of people, there are a lot of different reasons people are here. Some are for weight loss, some are for healing health issues, some are for just a transition in point of view from particular types of diets that were a little too extreme for their health. And it's a very comprehensive and very holistic approach to our health from a scientific perspective. So it's not really a matter of opinion per se, although, you know, if we talk to Paul about somebody who maybe has a different opinion on a particular point of view, he doesn't shut that down. He will say, well, that is one approach, and I don't agree with it, and here's why. And he'll, you know, cite the science and so forth, again, for those that are more scientifically oriented. But he explains the why, the scientific, literally down to the cellular level, why he's suggesting the various lifestyle. And it's not just dietary at all. It's really quite comprehensive and very holistic. So, and it doesn't even exclude medicine or antibiotics as necessary or whatever it's not to the exclusion of, for example, I've had surgery. I had major joint replacement. And it's not as if, you know, all of Western medicine, if you will, is bad, or not to utilize that, but to incorporate that as needed for whole health, but with the foundation of the dietary and lifestyle elements. Bring a notebook or your phone. Be prepared to, my husband and I do seminars in a completely different subject, but one of the things that he says in his seminar is that those seminars are like trying to take little sips from a fire hydrant hose, open that wide. And this is very similar. I mean, it's just a lot of information. So just plan to take in that information and know that there's going to be a lot to synthesize. And for me personally, I always select 3 or maybe 4 items to implement. Like I try not to necessarily for me it would be overwhelming to try and like really embrace everything all at once. So I select, for example, the circadian rhythm entrainment. I'm going to select 2 or 3 items for that and try and implement those. Have fun. Yeah, it's there's a lot of flexibility. There are guidelines, but Paul's not very rigid. There's flexibility to make this program work for your life, for your whole life. And so plan that it's a change, it's not so radical that it can't be implemented. And just know that it's a whole lifestyle.